The spirit of Hazelden is a spirit of compassion. The early pioneers of Hazelden, people like Dan Anderson, Gordy Grimm, the early people who really developed the Minnesota model, found that it was very important to treat the alcoholic and the addict with dignity and respect. Having people locked up in barren institutional buildings was not conducive to recovery. Now that philosophy became part of Hazelden in terms of the way we look at our facilities and the way we look at our grounds and what we offer people when they come to us. We go out of our way to create a serene and peaceful environment. Hazelden is still a pioneer today. We're a treatment center that looks at new medication. We're a treatment center that looks at new modalities of treatment. All of the science of addiction, the brain science is developed to make sure that we can really target our interventions and what we need to do to the specific individual. So the touchstone is always evidence-based. Is there evidence that this particular clinical protocol works, that gets people sober or helps them stay sober longer? And when we find that something does work, we will introduce it into our treatment protocol here. So we're proud of that. But what makes Hazelden special is that we look at all sorts of other areas in the treatment field. Our number one priority always is to help the still suffering alcoholic, addict, and their family. That's always our number one priority. So we want to improve outcomes. We want to get people well quicker and have them stay well longer, hopefully for their lifetimes. We're very focused on making sure the programs and the services that we offer are sustainable over the long term. Alcoholism and drug addiction are chronic diseases, so it's real important that you find ways to improve outcomes over time. Our other big priority here is to reach more people. With the amount of alcoholism and addiction that's prevalent among our young people, we are making the treatment of addiction and the whole area of youth a priority for this organization. It is a priority for me personally. It is a priority for all of our employees that we take a hard look at education, at prevention, at assessment. As an organization, it's important that Hazelden speak out and that we are at the table with policymakers, with government, with business, health reform. That's how we can achieve that ultimate vision. And that everyone who seeks treatment will find it. Everyone who wants to get well will get well. It's incredibly important to make sure that the voice of the treatment world is being heard. Hazelden has a real special responsibility going into the future. We're an organization that's been built by very strong people in the past. We're financially, operationally, and from a people perspective in a great position. We are the world's largest publisher of addiction-related materials. That imposes upon us a burden to make sure that we are growing and transforming so that we in fact can double the number of people we serve over the next few years and double it again after that. We continue to train the next generation of addiction counselors about the latest science, about the latest art of getting well. Because of the success of the school and the great work that it does, we have a responsibility to make it grow. We're going to do that not only by increasing our on-campus enrollment, but by being able to offer online degree opportunities for the field.
How often do you see somebody?
So our plan is to really push our enrollment of our graduate school and really triple it in size over the next few years. If you can imagine a world where no one suffers from addiction to alcohol and other drugs, if you can imagine a world where families can get the help when they need it, if you can imagine a world where if there were addicts and alcoholics, they were able to get the help they needed, they were able to recover, they were able to lead productive lives, that's a world that we imagine here at Hazelden. That's a world that we think by living our mission of helping to restore hope, healing, and health to the still suffering alcoholic and their families, we're going to have a better world. That's what we envision here. That's what we imagine. That's why we come to work here every day at Hazelden.